I'm 22 years old and just got the news I'm dying. I failed at life and am now leaving behind a 3-year-old daughter. As the title says, last week I got the news that I am dying from lung cancer from my doctor. Turns out smoking since I was 15 and then upping it to 3 packs each day a few years ago was a bad idea. Stupid, I know. I thought it wouldn't come so soon though. It's stage 4 and as of now I have months to live. Please don't feel bad for me. I've done nothing good in life, except have my daughter, to really be sad about losing me. I have no family because I grew up in the foster system and aged out at 18. My daughter's father is in prison for serious crimes that even if he got out he wouldn't be allowed to be in her life. My daughter is only 3. We don't live in a good area, and when I go to work I have to leave her with an elderly neighbor that always gets her name wrong every day. I don't want her to grow up like I did, in that foster care system. I feel like it's the reason why I messed up and did nothing good with my life. Yeah, I know it's not the only reason and my own stupidity caused most of my issues, but if I just had some family or a support system to keep me in check it could have been better. I just want to give her some chance to have a better shot than I did. The thing is I do have an idea for who could take care of her. One of my closest friends is a coworker at my job, and she's amazing. While I'm at the bottom of the job, like if they need to lay off people I would definitely be the first to go, she's their prized worker and makes serious bank. She has a good husband and a kid. I want to ask her if she would be okay with adopting my little girl once I'm gone, but I know it won't go well. The thing is, my coworker and her family are black, and me and my daughter are white. Like we both have blue eyes and can't tan white. There is no way I can ask my friend to adopt my daughter and force her to deal with those kind of issues an adoption like that will bring to her family. But then that just leaves my little girl to grow up like I did, in a shitty system with only a will of about $1,000 to help her and a necklace my mother had that I'm going to give her. I don't know if I should bite the bullet and ask my close friend if she is willing to take my daughter, or just suck it up and try to work as hard as I can to get as much money into my will for my girl. But either way, I failed as a mother, and that is a regret I am literally taking to my grave. Edit. Okay, I reached out to her and we were able to set up a place to meet. It's some simple cheap bakery you can eat inside. I'm going to ask her if she can adopt my daughter. That way if she says no I can have more time to go to an adoption agency near us. Thank you for the support everyone. Update. Alright, I'm back now. A day after my post I was able to meet up with my friend, coworker, and after telling her about my diagnosis, which is something I haven't told anyone at work, I asked her if she was willing to adopt my little girl. She was shocked and tried to comfort me about my upcoming death. But she told me she couldn't give me her answer right then and there. Turns out, she does want a daughter, but something happened in her second pregnancy and caused her issues I don't feel right sharing, so she does want to consider adopting. But she first needed to talk to her husband and talk about planning if he agrees. I understood since it was a big change in their family. I said okay and after we ate she gave me a hug and told me she will miss me. This is embarrassing, but I actually started crying. I also started making the emails. Someone on here gave me this idea, and I thought it was amazing. So I created an email for my daughter and started pre-recording videos for stuff. It's nowhere near ready, but I already have some ideas and recorded some videos for her birthdays and some big life events like first crushes and prom and first job. Sad to say, but I realized planning it that most of the videos will be don't do what I did. My friend reached out to me a few days ago and said that after having a long talk with her husband they both are considering it. Apparently, they do this thing where after talking about a huge change in their lives they'll come to something to agree on, and then wait for a while. And if they're still on the same page then it sounds like a good idea. She did tell me that it wasn't a yes though, there are some issues they want to fix first. She said that while they both really like the idea, they barely know anything about my little girl. Her husband and 6-year-old son haven't even seen her, and while she has seen and heard about her, it's from me. So she told me about a plan they came up with. For the rest of this month I'm going to have to get up 2 hours earlier than normal to drop off my daughter at their house so her husband can watch over her as he works at home. Then I'll go to work with my coworker. This way her husband and son can get to know her. She also said she wants us to celebrate Christmas with them, so that's something to look forward to in the future. I've already done it yesterday and when I went to go pick up my little girl she was the happiest I've ever seen her in a long time. My friend's husband said that they went off on the wrong foot in the start. He said she was really scared sometimes and didn't want to play with their son yet, but since it was their first day he thinks she'll get better. We did it again today and he said she mostly watched their son play but it was already better than yesterday. So that's what's happening right now. I'm scared this will be for nothing, but at the very least now my daughter is getting better at their house for now. So even if they say no in the end she already has some better memories than when she was with me. From the comments, I know I'm only an internet stranger but as a mom, I'm proud of you. You don't have much but everything you do have is focused on your baby girl. And that's what makes a great mom. One thing I will say to add to the email idea, if you can, grab some loose sheets of paper or a small notebook and write down your favorite recipes, including all the things you add that make it something only you've made. Give that to her because one day she'll be happy to say, I made my mom's food. Write down little happy things you come across in the time you have left, not in email form but in your own handwriting because she'll treasure that in years to come and it's a tangible link to you. Write down places you like to go, favorite color, favorite music, things like that. Little pieces of you so she'll have something to physically hold on to when times get hard. You have all my love. OP, I was thinking of writing a letter for my little girl's 13th birthday. The only thing I have from my mom is this necklace that has been with me. I don't know what it is, but it has a lot of curls and hoops with a pretty almost clear stone in the middle. I was going to write a letter explaining the necklace is from her grandmother, and now since she would be old enough it's going to be hers. I do have recipes I know she loves. That would be an amazing idea. She loves my egg salad sandwiches, so that's one recipe I'll write down. Thank you for the idea. I don't recognize my sister anymore. I 20 female and my sister 18 female are still living with our parents as we attend college very nearby. Our relationship was never outwardly affectionate, but I just don't recognize her anymore. I recently got into a relationship with my wonderful girlfriend, and after about 5 months of knowing her, I told my family about it. We were all raised Catholic, so it took a little warming up to make everyone else comfortable with the idea. Fast forward maybe a month and my girlfriend was over and staying the night. As we got ready for bed, we heard my sister arguing with my mom in the next room over. We tried not to pay attention to it, but as it got louder and angrier, we could make out words and phrases said by my sister. Disgusting. I don't want to be around this. She's not my family. That last one really hurt. As the screaming continued, we went into my room and my girlfriend held me as I sobbed quietly. 30 minutes pass like this and my sister is still screaming and crying, but I needed tissues. I leave my room to get some and step right into the middle of whatever the F was going on. My mom had gone back to her room and given up, but my sister was still out there. She yelled at me and at that point I had enough. I went to my parents and tried to keep the shakiness out of my voice as I told them I didn't feel safe here. All the while my sister cried and yelled one room over. She was keeping everyone awake. It was well past midnight. We all had work in the morning. My dad finally gets up and yells at my sister, my mom joining in. I haven't heard them yell or swear like that since we were little, and something really F up happened. My sister swore back at them, slammed her door, and threw herself face down on the bed sobbing. I tried going in to talk to her, but she was hysterical, so I went back to my room. After another hour of this, she tired herself out and then pretended nothing happened the next day. Since then she's avoided me, and what little communication does happen between us is very passive-aggressive. It's been 3.5 weeks of this and she's been having little meltdowns over it every few days when my parents try to confront her about it. She cries, saying that she was traumatized by that night and that my parents are horrible people for suggesting she goes to therapy. Last night after a meltdown she got in her car and drove off, ditching her phone and Apple Watch so nobody could track her location. She wasn't back for another at least 3 hours. It's sad. We used to play dolls and video games together, and now she can't stand to even look at me. She refuses to apologize to me, my parents, or my girlfriend, and would probably rather spend the rest of her life pretending nothing happened. From the comments, just curious, did you discuss with your parents that your girlfriend would be sleeping over at their house before that occurred? OP, it was all discussed beforehand. I even mentioned it to my sister and she said whatever.